Hey, how's it going? And today I wanted to talk briefly about named arguments. Here, if we look at it, the built-in method here, or built-in function called print string, which everybody uses, you'll see that there's three parameters inside of it. So we have a identifier called message that is of the string type. Then we have this, and it looks like an option, but it's not. It's a named argument, which means that when we call this method here, print, we have to spell this out exactly. We cannot put any other word in here. We can't misspell this. We have to spell this name exactly the same as it is here. And it will not accept anything short of this spelled out exactly the same. The float value, of course, we can put in anything here. And it's the same thing with color. These are what we call named arguments, meaning that if I'm going to call this method or function, when I call it, I have to use this name exactly, or it won't work. Named arguments in verse code, putting the question mark before the parameter means the argument must be named exactly when it's called in the function call. The idea behind this makes the code more readable, so we know what is happening, and it lessens the need for comments because it's clear within the function call itself what is happening. So here is the function call here, right? So here is the function, and you see our named arguments there. And when we call that function, you notice we have to spell it out exactly. And notice these don't have to be in the same order as this. You notice it goes message, duration, color. If we're using named arguments, it doesn't have to be positional because we're going off of the name. If I tried to put this in any other word, like if I said colors, error. If I just said value color, it's not going to work. It has to be exactly how it's spelled out. So these are named arguments. Kind of confusing because they look like options, but they're not really. I've created a named argument called time value, and it's of float type. And here you'll see I'm trying to call this, but you'll notice even though I'm putting in a float type, I'm getting this error that says this function parameter expects a value of type question mark time value float, but this argument is incompatible with value of type 30000. What it doesn't say is that time value has to be spelled out exactly. So if I go to call this function, let's say I go question mark time equals 3, which is a float, it's not working. It wants the name exactly 100%. So in a certain sense, not only is the named argument clarifying the value, it's also tightening things up, saying that when you call me, you have to call me with my exact name letter by letter. If you don't, then it's not going to work. So you could use this anytime that you kind of wanted to spell out exactly what the value is for and kind of to tighten things up. To get rid of this error, I have to spell it out exactly. So I have to go value, time, and now it works. So it's interesting because you do see this quite a bit in verse code, and if you don't understand what it is, it can be confusing. Now what's interesting about this is that if I just get rid of this, right, now it's not a named argument anymore, I can just submit the value. There's no problem doing it that way. But then when I'm calling this, right, if I'm reading the code, I'm not necessarily sure what I'm sending or why. But if I name it, then I know, oh, I'm sending a time value. So that's the main point of it. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Take care, have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.